The monument will also honor Till's mother, who bravely shared the haunting images of her son's body that would spark the civil rights movement. Her story and her son's story captivated millions, and now their legacy will forever be implanted in 3 separate places in America related to Till's life and murder.
The scene at the White House Tuesday, where President Biden honored the memory and legacy of Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till, as forever part of the deep and complex history of America.
I can't fathom what it must have been like. It's hard to believe I was 12 years old.
Emmett Till was in Money, Mississippi in 1955. The 14-year-old from Chicago was visiting family when his life changed forever. According to Till's family, the teen was shopping at a store owned by Roy and Carolyn Bryant when Till was accused of whistling at Carolyn, a white woman. Till was later abducted from his great-uncle Moses Wright's home by Bryant's husband, Roy Bryant, and his half-brother, J.W. Milam. 2 of Emmett Till's cousins, Wheeler Parker and Simeon Wright, witnessed Till's kidnapping on the night of August 28, 1955. They both described their family's background in Mississippi and Chicago, the incident at Bryant's store, and the terror they felt when Bryant and Milan entered their home and took Till.
Back then in the darkness, I could never imagine a moment like this.
Till's brutalized remains were found days later in the Tallahatchie River. After his remains were recovered, Mamie Till Mobley made the brave decision to let the world see what happened to Emmett. Photos from her son's open casket funeral, published in Jet magazine, catalyzed the civil rights movement.
Took that and it changed her whole life. But now she had to change her personal life. She changed her personal life and mine too. I said, God, I'm not in good standing with you. I'm finna die. Changed my life.
Till's death highlighted the racism and brutality faced by black people throughout the U.S. President Biden's proclamation, signed on what would have been Till's 82nd birthday, establishes 3 sites where monuments will stand honoring both Till and his mother. The first site, Grayball Landing here in Mississippi, where it's believed that Till's body was recovered from the Tallahatchie River. The second site, Roberts Temple Church of God in Christ in Chicago, where thousands attended Till's funeral service. And the third site, the Tallahatchie County 2nd District Courthouse, where Till's killers were wrongly acquitted by an all-white jury.
At a time when there are those who seek to ban books, bury history, we're making it clear, crystal clear. Only with truth comes healing, justice, repair, and another step forward toward forming a more perfect union.
Now, in addition to designating these 3 sites as a new national monument, the National Park Service will develop a plan along with local communities and organizations and the public to support the interpretation and preservation of other key sites in Illinois and here in Mississippi that help tell the story of Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley. The sites might include the Glendora Cotton Gin, currently known as the Emmett Till Historic Intrepid Center, Mound Bayou, the site of the Tutwiler Funeral Home, and Emmett Till's boyhood home on the south side of Chicago.